Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for July 2018. Summer is in full swing. We have crazy stuff going on, all sorts of books, all sorts of neat stuff going on, and lots of stuff going on here at the store.
From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner Colin McMahon transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
The construction is just about done. We're going to be moving stuff around, so every time you come in, something's going to be in a different spot. I decided I was going to close for a couple days and get everything moved, and I decided, where's the fun in that? So we're going to do a little bit over time, just moving bookshelves, moving sections of the store around. So please excuse my mess for the first couple weeks of July, but it's all going to come together. It's already started out really well. I'm really happy about how the store looks already. So, lots of stuff going on in July. Like I said, the store's coming back together, so we're going to do a grand reopening, and this is going to be on Saturday, July 14th. Details to follow as I come up with them, but I just decided on the day this weekend. So, be ready for that. We'll have a big celebration of the store being fixed finally. Book club. For July book club, I decided to do Kingdom Come, which is mostly because I wanted to read it again. Great future story in the DC universe by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. So if you're interested, it's 25% off if you come in to get it and say it's for book club. July is also Captain America month. We're relaunching a new Captain America #1. Should be really good, really exciting, very patriotic for July, so I decided to go double points on all Captain America graphic novels for the month of July. Now, the big thing that we're doing, we're having another midnight release. Now, I won an award. I don't know if I mentioned this before. I won an award for the Doomsday Clock, one that we did back in November. So now I have a standard to live up to, and we had the Action Comics 1000 midnight release, and now we're doing another one on July 4th. Captain America #1 is coming out on July 4th, so Marvel decided to have a midnight release. And then DC is having the big Batman Catwoman wedding, also on July 4th. So we're going to do a midnight release for both those books, a big celebration of both of them. And most of the other publishers, probably all by the time it gets here, will allow us to sell their books on that. So I'm going to open up at 11:45 on July 3rd, and you can come in and get the books on July 4th. Speaking of July 4th, we're also going to be open. We're going to be open 11 to 5 on July 4th. Figuring most people are off, I'm not going to have to worry about people coming after work. I will not be here that time. We're going to the beach. But Tim and Adam will be here to help you out getting those books on July 4th for the special midnight release. So, what else is going on in July? I mentioned all these great books. We're going to start with DC. Like I said, the Batman Catwoman wedding. This one's been building for a while. Tom King has been doing a really good job with this story, and it all comes to the culmination is in Batman 50, the actual wedding issue. Will they? Won't they? We don't know. Will the Joker get involved? Read it and find out. We're also getting a Catwoman book coming out that same day. This is by Joelle Jones, she's done amazing art in the issues of Batman that she's done. She's done a lot of other things, and she's writing and drawing this, and it should just be amazingly beautiful. All the art I've seen has been fantastic. DC's having a little summer fun. They're doing a DC Beach Blanket Bad Guys special. So what does Mr. Freeze do in the summer for fun, and all sorts of fun things like that. Superman #1 by Brian Michael Bendis and Ivan Rice. This is starting up his official run. Everything's spinning out of the Man of Steel 6-issue miniseries, and we're getting both Superman #1 and Action 1001. That one's being drawn by Patrick Gleason, who had been the artist and co-writer on Superman previously. So he's staying on the book doing the art, which I'm really, really happy about. These are both, it's kicking off his run. Come, check it out, see what's going on. Supposedly, from reading the solicit, there was some really crazy things happens at the end of Man of Steel, so I don't want to give those away just yet. But these books both look really interesting, and then we'll see what his take is for both of these. Now, in the events of Justice League No Justice, we have a couple more books spinning out. Justice League already spun out of it. Titans is spinning out of it. If you happen to read the Titans special that came out, that book was affected by it. And now we're also getting two new Justice League books. We're getting Justice League Dark, and this one's written by James Tynion, who just came off of Detective Comics. And it's a team of Wonder Woman, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Man-Bat, and Detective Chimp that are having to take on the supernatural and the magical type things that the Justice League is incapable of handling. Then we're getting a second book, which is Justice League Odyssey, which is for more of the outer space type stuff that the standard Justice League isn't handling. This is by Josh Williamson and Stepan Sajic, who just had a great run on Aquaman. Basically, it's Cyborg, Starfire, Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, and Azrael head to deep space in a commandeered Brainiac skull ship as these wildcard teammates try to stop Despero from slave trading the Coluan refugees. They discover something they could not be prepared for. Darkseid offering to help. So, weird stuff going on here. Doomsday Clock is back. It's gone bi-monthly, and luckily July is one of the months that it comes out. So issue 6 is coming out of Doomsday Clock. Also a new miniseries, Injustice versus the Masters of the Universe. So if you're a fan of the Injustice game and that storyline and Masters of the Universe, this book is for you. Flash hits issue 50 with an oversized finale to Flash War, which has been selling out every issue, which has been crazy. Green Lanterns also hits issue 50, where there's darkness growing inside the power battery, and how is that going to affect the entire core. Teen Titans 20. This is kind of not a restart of the series, but kind of a new direction, where through the events of No Justice and things like that, Robin is creating a new team. And of his team, the new team is Kid Flash, Red Arrow, and then new characters Roundhouse, Genie, and Lobo's daughter. Who knew Lobo had a daughter? Now you'll find out. Titans is also doing the same thing with Titans issue 23. From the out of the special, their team was modified due to No Justice, and it's a new team of Nightwing, Donna Troy, Raven, Steel, Beast Boy, and Miss Martian. So the special was really good. I hadn't read Teen Titans in a while, or Titans, and I really enjoyed that. And then Wonder Woman is also hitting a big issue 50 with a new pantheon of gods has been created, and how is that going to affect Wonder Woman and her brother? So that's what DC, that's the big books coming from DC in July. Now Marvel. Marvel has a bunch of stuff going on. They've really been revamping, doing what they're calling Fresh Start, where they're giving a lot of new creators and new number ones to a lot of their books. And kicking off, as I already mentioned, Captain America #1. This is by Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's been doing Black Panther for a while, with art by Lionel Francis Yu, who's done stuff for ages at Marvel. I think his big one was he did Secret Empire. That's probably his biggest volume book that he's done. Basically, in the aftermath of Hydra taking over, Cap's reputation is tarnished, and a new villainous group comes up trying to exploit his weaknesses right now of not being, the noble, great Captain America that we've known. So it's going to see how they try to twist and malign him to take power. We also have an amazing Spider-Man #1. Dan Slott just wrapped up his over 10-year run on Spider-Man, and now we're getting Nick Spencer and Ryan Ottley, who previously was on Invincible, are coming on to give their turn on the book. And from the previews and stuff I've seen, it's a lot more quirky, fun, standard Spider-Man fare. Nick Spencer did the Superior Foes of Spider-Man book that was really fun and light. So it's probably taking a little turn, getting away from the darkness that we just had in the Red Goblin storyline for a while. Basically, he's got a new roommate, a new love interest, and a new villain. And that's where this one's kicking off. The Life of Captain Marvel. If you saw Avengers Infinity, that little thing on the beeper at the very end of the last extra credit thing was Captain Marvel's symbol. So this is giving her definitive origin. It's a 5-issue miniseries, written by Margaret Stohl and drawn by Carlos Pacheco. So this one should be good. Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is Donny Cates. This is a character that he created in his Thanos miniseries, where kind of in the future, at the end of time, there's a new Ghost Rider, and it actually is Punisher. So Punisher is the Cosmic Ghost Rider of the future. So this was really popular, really took off. So they're doing their own mini-series for this one. X-23 is back, with Wolverine returning sometime in the future. They didn't need her to be all-new Wolverine, so she's going back to her roots, and she's going back to make sure that no one has ever messed up like she was, and no one's ever created. So they're going ahead and giving her her own series where she's running around with her sister. Death of Inhumans. Donny Cates is grabbing this as well. I don't know if it's a reflection of the TV show getting canceled, but they're doing a big Death of the Inhumans story. Not sure. I'm sure they're not killing them off, so it's going to be some big, interesting story here. X-Men Grand Design. Ed Pisker, a local Pittsburgh guy, did this where he's reimagining and repurposing the X-Men stories in chronological order. And, they already did the first part, which was the older, like, 60s stuff. This one is Second Genesis, which was the storyline in Giant Size X-Men #1, bringing in the new team with Wolverine and Colossus and Storm and Nightcrawler and all those guys. They're also doing a Wakanda Forever, tying in the X-Men to the Dora Milaje, the women warriors from Black Panther. So we're getting the Spider-Man starting in June, and now we're getting the X-Men little miniseries starting in July. X-Classified. They announced this a little while ago, and it's finally coming out. And through the events of X-Men Gold #30, it turned out that it wasn't Colossus and Kitty Pryde getting married, but spoilers, it was actually Rogue and Gambit got married. So they're doing, the X-Men Classified has been retitled Mr. and Mrs. X, and it's going to be a miniseries about them, the newlyweds. Astonishing X-Men 13. This is a neat one. Matthew Rosenberg is taking over the book, and he decided he specifically did not want a new #1 for when he took over the book. So this is just number 13, with him taking over from Charles Soule, and it's giving him a new team, and he's playing with the characters that he loves. And apparently Havoc is a character that he really loves. A while back in Axis, Havoc turned evil, and now this is going to be him dealing with returning to the X-Men, but also having to face up to the things that he's done to lose their trust. And finally, Star Wars hits issue 50, and the big description on this one I really liked. In this issue, hope dies. So, sounds fun, exciting. I'm assuming this is going to see the rise of the Empire in the Star Wars book. So now, here's some stuff from some of the other bigger publishers, starting off with Image. The first one they have is Farmhand. When I went out to Portland, they talked about this one. It's Rob Galori, who was the artist on Chew for its whole run, and he is writing this one. And it's about a farmer, Jedediah Jenkins, and his crop is not a standard crop. He actually grows plug-and-play human organs. So if your liver's going bad, you go visit him, and he'll give you an organ that you can just put in, or a new liver, or whatever. Unfortunately, something disturbing and evil is growing underneath his farm, and that's going to affect his ability to help people. Unnatural. This is a new one where basically it's a little anthropomorphic animal-human crossbreed or hybrids in the world. This is interesting. It's by, I believe it's an Italian lady. She had a lot of fun out there, but English is not her first language, so she had a little trouble expressing herself, but it was a lot of fun with her trying. Aphrodite 5. This is one from the Aphrodite 9, I believe, was their big book, and this is one that takes place a little before that, where she's a biomechanical human, kind of crossbreed, and on the run, and how she tries to get through society when they're after her. New Lieutenants of Metal. I enjoy this one. Joe Casey and Ulysses Farinas. A precision strike force ready to face any threat, and the most head-banging heroes ever assembled. So Joe Casey, it's probably not going to be super serious. He likes to do the fun stuff. The New World. This is a new one from Alice Coate, who's doing a lot of really kind of deep political type things. He's doing Days of Hate, which is out right now. And Trad Moore, who you may have known, he did the Ghost Rider run. He did the Luther Strode stuff. But basically, two lovers meet. One is a straight-edge vegan hacker anarchist boy with a penchant for messing with the state. The other is a chaotic, hedonistic cop with a reality TV show and a license to kill. They get together, they shouldn't, and soon the entire state will be after them. Outpost Zero is a new one from Sean McKeever about the smallest town in the universe and how they survive. Now going to Dark Horse. Black Hammer has been just an incredible series with a life of its own. They're spinning out all these miniseries from it. And they have another one here. It's called The Quantum Age. So we got another book. I know lots and lots of people have really been enjoying this book. She Could Fly is a new one from Berger Books. And this one is kind of neat. This woman, no one knows who she is suddenly is flying through the skies up to 120 miles an hour and 2,000 feet in the air. And people are just fascinated watching her, and all of a sudden she dies in a huge midair collision. And this young girl kind of takes it upon her to figure out who she was, how this happened, and what happened to her. So it's a story about this mystery woman. Disney Pixar The Incredibles 2. This is a bunch of stories that take place during and after Incredibles 2. So if you're like big fan of the Incredibles movies, this is going to give you a little more of that world. StarCraft Scavengers. This is by Jody Hauser, and it's based on the video game, so it's expanding that world a little bit too. IDW has some good ones. Transformers Unicron. This is a new Transformers series where the Unicron, this great thing that eats planets, is coming, and Optimus Prime has to figure out how to defend against it. And they're also doing a Big Hero 6 book based on the Disney XD show. So if you loved the movie, you like the show, here's some more stuff for that. And then they're doing another Star Trek The Next Generation series is coming, continuing on the untold tales of those guys. X-Files is doing a bunch of these real little miniseries, little two-parters, and this new one is Hoot Goes There, involving a harpy in East Texas. So if you like harpies, if you like Texas and X-Files, this might be for you. And Euthonauts is a new one from the Black Crown series about adventures into death. This is by Teenie Howard and Nick Robles. Dynamite is always coming out with some interesting one. They have a new project, Superheroes, which is taking a bunch of these 40s heroes, Death-Defying Devil, Samson, Black Terror, Masquerade, Green Llama, and more. And then they're also coming out with the new Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Who doesn't like Elvira? Boom has more stuff coming. We have a Jim Henson Beneath the Dark Crystal book. Those have been really successful, and same people really seem to like all those. There's a new one called Bone Parish. This is Cullen Bunn. There's a new drug down in New Orleans, which is actually made up from dead bodies. And it's become hugely popular. There's a war going on through all the distributors to see who has the most power. But the users of it start to get these weird hallucinations and these weird feelings. And it appears that the dead are trying to come back through their bodies. So, fun, exciting. Cullen Bunn likes to do nice dark stuff. Ruin World is a new one. It's an all-ages comic about fun, friendship, and screaming in the face of danger. And Thrilling Adventure Hour is coming back. This is based on a Hollywood stage show and a podcast. So it's by Ben Acker and Ben Blacker, some California guys. Alterna, now we're getting to the smaller publishers, but Alterna has a couple new ones. They're the ones that do the newsprint books for $1.50. They have one, Psycho Co., and he's the fourth wall-breaking, pinball-addicted, motorcycle-riding hero you've been waiting for. And they also have one called Eden 1, which is set in the year 2714, where aliens have taken over, and there's this one place of respite called Eden, but all is not as it seems, and it might not be the hope that they needed. Aftershock has a couple coming. There's Relay, which was a free comic book day book, and it's just a real sci-fi adventure book. They also have one called Clan Killers, which is set in ancient Ireland. Archie has a fun one coming where it's Archie meets Batman 66. Jeff Parker and Michael Moreci. I know Jeff Parker wrote the previous Batman 66 stuff. The neat thing is they have Dan Parent doing the art, who is a longtime Archie artist, so it's going to kind of be fun to see Batman drawn in the Archie style. Aspen has a bunch of new number ones. They have a Soulfire coming on the 15th anniversary of the character for Michael Turner's creation. And they also have one, Dissension, War Eternal, and No Way, both future stories. Benitez Productions has a new Lady Mechanica #1 coming. These have just been beautiful. His art is amazing, and they've been really, really popular. So I think this one was teased on Free Comic Book Day, and we're finally getting this one coming. Oni has The Long Con, where basically 5 years ago, at the site in this convention center was a cataclysmic event obliterated the entire place. And at the time there was this convention, a comic book convention going on that was the longest one in the world, called the Long Con. But unbeknownst to everybody, it was just transported, and the convention is still going on, and one guy is obsessed with finding his friend who was there. Titan has a new one called Dead Life, which they basically said is Walking Dead meets Supernatural. So if you're a fan of either of those shows, this might be for you. Valiant is bringing out a new Britannia miniseries. This one's coming, Lost Eagles of Rome. And then the last one is Vault has a new one. They have had a couple real neat ones, Wasted Space and Deep Roots, that have come out. And they have a new one called Submerged, where a sister gets a call from her brother. It's the biggest storm in the history of New York City, and she gets a call from him that he needs help. She goes to where he is, and all she finds is his broken cell phone laying on the ground outside an abandoned subway station. So she has to go down there to try to find him and see what happens. So that's all the books that are coming. I hope that's enough. There's a lot there to read, a lot there to be interested in. And I talked about what's going on. We're doing double points all month long on Captain America graphic novels. We have our book club on the last Friday of the month, which is going to be Kingdom Come. Sorry. And stop by and see all the renovations, see everything we have going on at the store. Saturday, July 14th, we're going to have a big celebration. Since I won't be here on July 4th for a big party, we're going to kick it a couple days and do it a little bit later. So we'll make a big celebration. Keep an eye on the website and social media, and I'll definitely be updating everything going on there. That's all I have for this month. Because we're filming a little bit early because I'm going to be gone, I don't have any previews. They're not available online yet, so we're not going to do comic previews theater this month. I'm sorry. I know you're going to be very, very let down, but we'll try to give you 2 next month in August. So I hope that makes it up to you. Please come on down, see what's going on at the store. I'm really excited about the changes, and we'll talk to you next month. See ya.